A lot of changes have been happening in the last 2 years for migration, as you will be aware. For those who aren't aware, going into 2012, migration it's changed so much. You really need to consult a migration agent. It's not so straightforward anymore at all. So, a lot of changes, a lot of hardship, a lot of frustrations have been going on. Even in my company, 2 years have been uncertainties, the change of the state migration plans, going through the uncertainty of what was going to happen July 1st, 2011. Well, post all those things, we do know that migration is harder. There's no doubt about it. If you want Australia, you will have to understand you need to get it right. So basically it's all coming down to the points have changed. This is the main thing. Whereas going back in the historically it was 120 points was the pass mark, or at the top of the tree if you like, 100 being the pass mark. These days it's 65 points, and to get these 65 points is not so straightforward. People say, oh, I get them all the time. Phoning us in the office and say, look, you know, I must be up there somewhere. I've got, you know, whatever. Very difficult to get 65 points. So you really do need to understand, and it is a task in itself, but it's got it right. Australia's got it right. If you want to live in a country that protects its shorelines, and I think this is the main issue today, is to protect its shorelines, you are most welcome, but you must go through the migration process. Simple as that. No shortcuts, apart from jobs. So this is the back door to migration. You've got the point systems in migration saying to you, look, you know, have a look at the points. You're going to, for example, if you're a carpenter, bricklayer, or a plumber, or a tradesman, or a doctor, dentist, it matters not. The point system has actually gone on the occupation. What they're doing now is saying to you, look, if you're any one of these skills and we want you and you're on the list, then we'll give you points for the time served and the level what you may be at. If you're a doctor or high professional or dentist or doctor, nurse, whatever it may be, there's a different way of looking at the whole process now entirely. So if you've got a doctorate, for example, you will get 20 points for that. If you come in at, for example, having a bachelor degree, it will come in at 15 points as awarded. Or if you, as a tradesperson, you're going to find that the points are even less. So it's not about having, in the old days, having 60 points for a carpenter, a bricklayer, or 60 points for a doctor or a dentist. Those days are gone. It's about meeting the 65 points. And to get those 65 points, as I was saying, it ain't straightforward. So we need to process that through for you one step at a time. Our job is to facilitate. That's the role of a good migration company. To make sure that before you part with a penny, that we actually go through the process very carefully with you to make sure, to ensure that you are eligible for Australia. I can assure you, the last 2 years have been very, very difficult indeed. A lot of my clients have been affected by the changes. Very easy to take money off people. I tell everyone the same story. 2 years ago, come December 2010, when the changes came for the state migration plans, a lot of people were seriously affected by that. Some occupations taken right off the list. So what do we do with those people? Well, I can assure you, our role is to make sure that we show you a backup. There is always another way to get to Australia. I have loads of examples in the last 12 months where people are now actually packing their bags as I speak on their way. Their dream is being completed to reality. They're moving to Australia. So being disadvantaged is one thing, but the main thing is to understand what can you do about it. And I think this is where you need to contact your agent, give myself a call. It's a free service we offer, and we'll talk it through with you, case by case, face to face if you need it, not a problem. This is so important. This is your dream. This is your life. This is what you want. If you want Australia, Australia says yes. But remember, you need to go through the procedures of migration. We've had serious delays in migration. And I think this is what people have got to understand. It's not something your agent is doing. He's not sitting back in the back room doing nothing with your file. It's trying to work out what we can do with the file once the government announces what it's going to do with your occupation. And this has really been the problem. So we know now. We do know, for example, that if you're a hairdresser, you are off the list. But you're not off the Australian Opportunities List, as I call it. If there's a job in Australia for you as a hairdresser, someone's prepared to sponsor you, your dream will come true. Whether it be an engineer, doctor, dentist, carpenter, bricklayer, plumber, it matters not. And let me tell you, this is the way forward. Jobs, jobs, jobs for Australia. So anybody in the delay process at the moment, do call your agent, or if you're doing it yourself, give us a call. Quite happy to talk to you through the process, understand what's going on, because it is frustrating. Frustrating for you, and it's certainly frustrating for us when you've got hundreds of clients on your books trying to look after people, and all we get all day long are questions, questions, questions. It's a hard thing to tell people, but you just need to hold faith, stay focused on your dream, and it will come true. We've got clients there right now. We've got one right now, 58 years of age, 58, being accepted into Australia on a sponsored visa. You can't beat that. They've been to Australia probably 4 or 5 times chasing work because they're over the skilled limit age requirement, needed a job. The recession's in place. No one was going to prepare to give them a job. Very difficult. These people, it's their dream, it's their life. This is what they want as Australia. The wonderful thing is, the last trip out to Australia was just Christmas gone by, 2010-11. They secured a sponsor with Regional Skilled Migration Scheme. Fantastic, at 58. So there's a very happy family at 58. So no matter if you're 28, 38, 48, 58, that's pushing the window, no question. But where there's a will, there is certainly a way forward for you. And I'm saying to you, don't give up your dream. Give us a call. We can always work out what you can or what you can't do before you pay a penny. 2012, what's going to happen? Well, let me tell you, Australia is on the move. $320 billion been allocated to the new infrastructure for development in Australia through 2011, 12 and 13. It's one of the fastest growing areas in the Western world, laying on the rim of the Asian Pacific Rim. Australia's in a massive boom, boom, boom economy. So in terms of migration, if you're looking at this video saying I'd like to migrate to Australia, this is the best time to do it. There's no question. We've gone through the hard trough, we've gone through the bottom lows. We're going to find that right now in Australia, if you look on any news report in Australia, construction companies simply cannot build. They simply cannot get these buildings up, and that is commercial and domestic. So the mining industries are back at work, which means that everybody is back to work in Australia. So it's a massive, massive, massive financial growth area. So if you're a working class person or a professional, you just cannot go wrong. Now is the time. If you're going to get into the migration process itself, to go through the migration scheme, we're looking at 24 months, whereas 2 years ago, 14 months, 18 months was the maximum. That's all changed. It's going to get longer and longer to go through the migration process. So it is that's a good thing. If you haven't planned to leave tomorrow, or things are okay for you here in the UK, great. But that's going to be the big change. Now, what we can do is, I always say to every client, if you're a skilled migrant, we should get your skills formally assessed. This is the key to migration now. Once your skills are formally assessed, we've got 2 options. One, to take you down the migration pathway, as we're saying, takes a couple of years or more. Or if a job comes up, you could be living in Australia in approximately 12 weeks, thereabouts. 12, 14 weeks, even less in some cases. So your dream can come around very, very quickly. And if you do as we ask you to do, you are in control of your destiny. And this is something special. So the Australian government's got it right. It's saying if you want to migrate, it takes time and you will be there. But also, it's also saying to the people, particularly here in the UK, we're looking for you. So if you want to come out, there's a job offer in Australia tomorrow. If there's a job vacancy for you tomorrow, you will be signed in, 12 weeks, living the dream. You just can't get any better. There's just no question about it. So you've got 2 ways to look at migration these days. And so if you're looking, the sooner the quicker to get out of here, 12 weeks. But post getting your skills assessed. Most important, get them skills assessed. Give us a call on that one. It's a bit complex to sort of just brief it, but I'd love to hear from you and we can explain it more in detail for you.